Linda's basically a fangirl.
When we got her model, there was no book there.
And I was a bit worried that that would be too iconic to remove.
We wanted her to have a realistic body type that most of us have.
When it happens to Linda for the first time, she freaks out.
Compared to the other girls, we were pretty happy with how Linda was already when we decided to remake the Soul Riders. She was so compelling already. She was smart, she had her books. We just added that touch of nerdiness to her that we felt like was missing. Because Linda's basically a fangirl. I mean, we all are, but it was just that we really wanted that to be a part of Linda as well. And when it comes to the looks, we made a decision that she was from Pakistan.
Yeah.
And so we looked at a lot of reference pictures. I remember that. Like a reference picture of skin tones, of ethnicity. We wanted to make it just right. And as all the other girls, we wanted her to have a realistic body type that most of us have.
All of us look different.
Yeah, all of us look different. And you just want to make everyone feel like that you can relate to them. They could be any girl.
I think that's something that has been super important to us, is to show different body types, and we're all people, we all look different, and that's super important that we show that.
Making concept art for Linda was, I think, it was pretty straightforward, because we had the feel of her being a little geeky, a little nerdy.
Yeah.
So I gave her the chunky cardigan, because I feel like she probably likes to be cozy, be comfy. And also making her hairstyle was fun. She had the ponytail in the old design.
Yeah.
And I was a bit worried that that would be too iconic for her to remove. But I think the bun and the braid was kind of fitting for her. When I was drawing the personality sketches for Linda, the one where she's hunched over the table just writing, nothing else matters, she's just so into it. I was trying to capture that feeling that she's just so obsessed with this thing that she's doing right now, and that's kind of a trait that she has. She can easily be engulfed in all sorts of things and kind of get lost sometimes.
The hardest part of animating Linda was coming up with the body language she used without going too much from the concept art. Because what you'll usually see in any concept art presented is she always stands with her book or she's leaning over her book. When we got her model, there was no book there. So it's thinking, okay, how does a person who is much involved with writing stories, with reading a lot, how does that person act when they don't have their book around? For a lot of times she's up in her own mind thinking for herself, maybe not speaking out as much as she's thinking about all the different stories and fan fictions she's writing, or thinking about multiple answers or solutions to a problem at the same time, but maybe not expressing them. So that's why she's thinking a lot about what should I say, this thing or this thing, when she's in talking animation.
Animating Linda was really challenging but fun. It was my first time animating as Soul Rider, so it was a fun experience. I took reference from a couple of persons. So one was my daughter, so I took reference from her. Because Linda is supposed to be very confident, and my daughter is over the top confident. So I took that, but also I looked at a couple of persons here at the studio and how, for example, for doing the walks, Matilda helped me with that for reference, and doing magic animation for Linda, she also helped me. But I also like to observe people, so I see how people move and things, and just take small things from those persons. I always the hardest critic for myself, I think so. But I really thought it was fun, so I think the end result, the whole way there, I'm really happy with it, I think.
Developing Linda as a character was amazing because, in a very real sense, Linda is me. We have a lot in common, Linda and I. We love reading, we grew up in books. So it's been amazing to take her character and give her more life and depth and just really play along with it. Linda really loves books. She doesn't love them, she devours them. Growing up, she read about these big adventures and magical, mysterious things and dreamt about those things happening to her. And then, when she discovered that she was a soul rider, things actually started happening to her as well. So for me, it's really amazing to see her come to life and really come into her own as well, as the adventuress that she really is at the end of the day. So yeah, Linda's really interesting in that way, that, you know, she does love reading, but she also loves, you know, being out there and seeing all the stuff that she reads about. So yeah, she's very dear to me. The most common stereotype about people who really love books and reading is that we're all, you know, sort of shy, introverted people who just sit at home. And I mean, in a very real sense, that's true, obviously. But, you know, most of us do love people, and we love speaking about stuff that we learned in books as well. And Linda in particular, I think, she loves being right, and she loves speaking her mind. You know, she's not shy. She's not shy about telling people what's the right thing to do. Sometimes she can get a bit overbearing, I think. But, you know, she has Alex to sort of just keep her in place. Linda's backstory, she grew up in Pakistan and moved to Jorvik when she was about 6 or 7 with a family. They're all academics who ended up in Jorvik. And, you know, Linda felt a bit lost, I suppose, as you do when you move halfway around the world. But luckily she had her books, and then she met Meteor, her horse, in Jorvik stables, and never felt alone again. A few years later, when she was in her teens, her parents were offered a great position at Oxford University in the UK. And Linda really shocked everyone in her family by choosing to stay put in Jorvik with her aunt. You would think that, you know, Linda and Oxford, that would be a match made in heaven. But, you know, she felt that she needed to stay in Jorvik and take care of Meteor and, you know, go to school. And I suppose perhaps she felt, even back then, before she met the other soul riders, that there was like a calling to her, you know, something called in the essence of Jorvik. You know, she needed to stay put in case something happened. Linda's powers, they lie within the circle of the moon, which means that she gets these visions. It can be a pretty scary thing to begin with, to get these visions, because they often manifest themselves as dreams or nightmares, and they're quite difficult to comprehend to begin with. So when it happens to Linda for the first time, she freaks out when she actually realises that, oh my God, I have the power to see things that might happen in the near future. It is and has been an absolute pleasure developing Linda from her online personality to her bookish personality, which, as it turns out, was there from the beginning. So, and I'm very, very anxious to see what lies in store for Linda. I know that she's destined for great things.
Hey,